Hi, and welcome to Carolina and Laura on Cinema. I'm Carolina, and here's my co-host, Laura. Today we'll be discussing the role of women in cinema. Laura, would you like to kick things off with some comments?
I think we should talk about Jennifer Lawrence's essay that she wrote in, Lenny magazine?
Yes,
Yeah.
so a little while ago, Jennifer Lawrence came out with an open essay about the pay grade on the film American Hustle.
Yeah.
As we know, Jennifer Lawrence is a very talented actress, best actress, nominated for several
Four
for
times
Oscars.
now, 3 or 4 times?
Yeah, she's incredibly talented.
She's the it girl right
yeah,
now.
Exactly. But you'll be surprised to learn that compared to her male co-stars on that same movie, she made a significant amount less than they did, which is quite a common issue in Hollywood. As a matter of fact, out of the top, I think 15 people paid in Hollywood, only 2 people on those lists are women, and they're, on the bottom of the list, nowhere near the top.
It's crazy because it's like she is the it girl right now. I mean, she has 2 franchises going, X-Men and Hunger Games just ended. Yeah. And even then, like, she's still, even as she's one of the highest paid women.
She's the highest paid women in Hollywood.
And even then, she's getting paid less than, Bradley Cooper and Christian Bale for being in the same movie as them.
Yeah, and it's kind of ridiculous. And I think it also comes from, and she said so herself, that, she didn't speak up and she didn't say anything and she didn't fight for herself to try to get, more money, especially when you deserve more. And I think that stems back to, the male-woman balance of power in Hollywood, that it's kind of, you feel like you can't come forward and you can't say something.
Part of it is just like, if a girl were to speak up on that, she can get labeled as, being bratty and being
greedy,
like hard to work with, And it's really not fair, because it's like, guys can speak up and not have a problem with it, but if a girl speaks up, it can ruin their reputation.
Exactly. And now let's take it back away from, the cult of celebrity, which is everyone has eyes on the celebrity world. But let's talk about women, in everyday Hollywood, maybe behind the scenes crew. Like you and I, we've both experienced some of that sort of sexism on set.
Yeah.
Can you share with me some of your experiences?
I mean, for me, I'm really interested in lighting, and I like doing G&E work. And I've been in the situation where I've asked people if I can, grip on their set, and they'll be like, "Oh no, we have too many grips right now, but you can do art department." Mm. And then literally 5 minutes later, a guy walked up and asked if he could grip, and they said sure.
Yeah.
And I was like, really?
Insane. When I first started out, I remember I really wanted to learn camera. I thought it was so interesting. And I was so intimidated by all the guys that were doing it. And it was kind of a man's world. And finally, when I did, edge myself in and throw myself out there, and I started getting hired and I started getting paid work, and I'd come onto set, and, the director of photography, my boss, the person who hired me, would introduce me to the director and the producers, and they would be like, "Oh, so are you and the director, are you his girlfriend? Or how do you know him?" Like, no, like, I can get hired, without dating my boss. I'm perfectly qualified on, my own accord.
It's ridiculous, because we feel it firsthand, but I feel like it's almost as if guys don't realize that they're doing it, and even, every girl I've talked to in the film department, every girl has felt some sort of, outsiderness for being a female, but I feel like it's almost as if, like, the guys just don't realize that they're doing it, so you can't really blame them.
Yeah.
But
and it is a male-dominated industry. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
If you look at even just the portrayal of women in movies, in cinema, there's actually a test called the bench tool test, or I'm pretty sure I'm saying that wrong, but there's a test, and it's kind of testing, whether a film is or isn't sexist. And so the test is, if there's 2 women in a movie that are named, so each has a character name, not just girl 1, girl 2. And do they speak to each other, and do they talk about something other than a man? And then it passes the test. And you'll find that most movies, as a matter of fact, don't pass the test. Most women in films are just supporting characters, and there's very few real, women-driven performances or movies in the industry at the moment.
I personally, I didn't realize that. I didn't know about this test, but now that I think about it, a lot of times, like,
if you think of, like, most of your favorite movies, and you think, are there 2 named characters that talk to each other about something other than a man, you'll find that they really kind of just don't,
Yeah, it's usually like talking,
Yeah.
All
right, so that's almost just about all the time we have. Let us know what you think. Reach out to us with your experiences, comments, and opinions on this issue on women in Hollywood. See you next time.